Greetings, fellow seekers of truth, wisdom, and light. This is Reverend Eliot, your friendly neighborhood esoteric practitioner, coming to you live from the city of New York, where we had a huge blizzard and we got at least a quarter inch of snow. There was, we haven't had much snow here, and there was a storm predicted for Tuesday, and the newspapers went crazy about, well, will this be the end of New York? You know, all that stuff. And the schools are canceled, and well, they don't really cancel class anymore. Kids don't get school days, snow days, school days. They don't get snow days anymore because they have to do it remotely now, which, of course, you know, reminds me of the old saying that any optional technology soon becomes mandatory. But there's a lot of parents here who, well, I was going to say, that doesn't sound right. A lot of parents are revolting. But what I mean to say is there are a lot of parents who are letting their kids they let them take a snow day off and go out and play in the snow, which is kind of funny because there's probably more frost in my freezer than there is snow out there in the streets of New York. And I've got a frost-free freezer. The thing is that their kids don't know the joy of waking up and seeing snow and finding out that they don't have to go to school today and they can go out and play in the snow because, you know, first of all, who goes out to play anymore? But now they have to have school all the time. That was what happened. They showed people that they could do that. Well, here we are on Valentine's Day, and this is a wonderful thing. If you're listening to me on Valentine's Day, well, you know, it could be worse. There are bad things that can happen on Valentine's Day too, but listening to me is not one of the worst ones that can happen to you on Valentine's Day. I have this running argument with my wife about Valentine's Day. It's not a big argument. It's only been going on for about 40 years. That I don't believe that Valentine's Day is for married people. We get anniversaries, you see. And every year I pull out the same lame argument, which is, suppose I go to the store and there's a beautiful heart-shaped box of chocolates for only $87.32, you know, because that's shrinkflation, right? So it used to be 85, now it's $87.32 for less. And I buy the last. There's only one left, and I buy it. And then some poor schnook who's trying to get a box of chocolates for his girlfriend on Valentine's Day. Now he comes in and he can't buy it because there's none left. I bought the last one. Now he can't go back and tell her that. So he just packs up and he moves to another state, you know, and we've ruined a good romance just for that. This is why, no. Married people do not get Valentine's Day. We get anniversaries for that. But I will tell you, since it is a special day, I'm going to tell you, this is just for the guys, which means, you know, ladies, don't listen, or actually do listen and tell them this. You will want to. There is a magical spell. There's a very simple magic spell that any couple can perform. The man, if there's a man out there in a relationship, and you want to make sure that is a good, positive, wholesome, happy relationship, there is a magic spell that you can use. It's only 2 words, and you can use this anytime, and I guarantee you that magically you'll end up with a happy relationship. And, you know, if I was going to be cruel, I would say stick around to the second half of the show. But I don't rely on that kind of stuff. I'll tell you what it is right now. The magic incantation that will remove all doubt in your relationship, that will take your relationship up to the next level is, yes, dear. That's the one. That'll do it. Just learn how to say, yes, dear, and you've got it. You got it made. You're gonna have a relationship that'll last a lifetime, or at least feel that way. But anyway, here we are on Valentine's Day, as I said. Do people still celebrate that? Because I was reading how like Gen Z is afraid to even use the telephone, so I have no idea what. Could you even get a date? Do you call anyone for dates? Are there are restaurants doing Valentine's Day specials anymore? And what would a Valentine's Day special be anyway, given how expensive eating out got in the last few years? You know, I cook. I mean, I really cook. You know, I mean, I cook. I've always enjoyed cooking. It's one of the things I've liked doing, and it's come in very handy for me. gastronomically and financially. I'm not a chef. I guess I could be a chef. I read a book that said that what a chef is. The difference between a chef and a cook. A chef is a person who can get 9 different meals ready for 9 different people at the same table and have them all done at the same time. In other words, it's a culinary trick. But if you, my advice, seriously, if you guys out there, if you really want to be impressive to your dates, if they're willing to go to where you live, which who knows these days, the get to learn how to cook at least one thing really well. I see that'll put you in good stead. You don't want to cook the same thing over and over for people, but who knows? You cook it, may never see that person again. Who knows? But like one of the things I did in my single days when I was it was stuffed peppers. That was my specialty, stuffed peppers. And then I graduated to crepes with caviar and champagne. Oh, brother, was that fun! And it doesn't have to be very expensive, champagne or caviar. See, there's ways to do all these things. Living a good life and enjoying things, there's tarot cards for that too, but it's not a matter of money usually. It's a matter of allocation of funds. We all can do that. There's always something that you can do to have a little money to enjoy things. Now, one of the things that I'm doing to help out in that regard is since I missed so many shows the last year, illness and stubbornness and laziness, let's put it that way. But no, illness really. And hey, this is my 3rd show in a row, so we're on a streak here. We're on a roll here, a magical window roll. What I would suggest is maybe it's not worth going into all that, but I will. My tarot readings, you see, a tarot reading. Now here I'm gonna offer you something to buy, and I'm gonna do that by talking you out of it. This is not salesmanship 101, but a tarot reading is pretty much a luxury. If you think tarot readings are a necessity and you do them a lot, you're doing something wrong, because it is pretty much a luxury item, and you can live without them. You could spend a little bit of money and learn how to do it yourself, but a lot of people don't like to read for themselves, and it's supposed to be not good because you won't get it. You'll get a biased reading, perhaps they say, but that's neither here nor there, which is sort of like my brain processes right now. What I'm trying to get at, as I talk you out of it, is during times of stress and difficulty in the economy, I don't do much in the way of magic work. Because it's time to get practical and mundane, to use a mundane word. And magic is for later. It's always a part of my life, but the really important things are just, getting down to business. And I missed so many shows so I missed reading for a lot of people. And then because I was sick, I didn't do private readings either. So I missed that too. So what I'm getting at is, if you go to magic-works.com, you will see, there's my card shuffling up. You will see the rates that I charge for tarot readings. If you want to have a private reading, if you don't want to have hundreds of thousands of people listening to what you have to tell me, you want to do it privately, you can contact me and we can do a private reading by phone or by Skype or Zoom, if you will, whatever you wish. I'm easy. And I cut the price in half. You look at the prices that are there, they're not very high anyway, but rather than be like everybody else in the economy today and raise prices or shrink services, I'm cutting the price. I've cut the price in half because the way I figure it, I missed about half my life last year. So cut it in half, cut the prices in half. So if you did want a reading, if you want to look at the coming year, if you want to know more about what's going on in your life and you want to take a look at any subject you want, Magic magick-works.com, magick-works.com. You'll see there on the homepage, or you can go to the link that says tarot reading, and you'll see the prices there too. And we'll see whatever the prices are, just cut it in half. Because I was very unhappy missing all these shows. So my way of celebrating, and especially my way of honoring a really lousy economy, is to cut the price on this. Because it's like I said, this is not like buying food. This is not like buying fuel. This is not like buying electricity. Although I think that tarot reading should be a normal part of life. It's just not a normal part of modern life anymore, and so no, there are better things you could spend your money on right now, unless you have a real issue you want to look at, and then I'd be more than happy to do it with you. And if in any event, even if cutting the prices in half doesn't do it, just contact me anyway, because I never let money get in the way. I really don't. I mean, we'll work something out. There's no problem at all. I like I say often enough, I'm not in this for the money. Anybody who's into tarot reading for the money is seriously needs to take some classes in the meaning of money. Yeah, you should pay a magical worker, because it's one of the principles of the magical economy is that if you're worth your labor, you're worth your keep. There you go. You see, I just made a political statement in effect, but I didn't mean to. So that's my gift right now, is that we will be doing tarot readings. I was going to do it to the end of the year, then I figured I'd run it through January, and now let's keep it going into February and see. Maybe we'll keep it going into the spring. I don't know, but it's going well, and people are enjoying it, and I'm glad to get back to doing it. I sure missed it. Oh boy, the only thing to me worse than being sick is being sick and just isolated. And I was, because, man, I missed you guys. I missed the audience. I look, the fact that I just did 3 weeks in a row here, that's an achievement considering the way it was going. So I'm looking forward to not missing anything, and I'm looking forward to big changes in the magical window this year, and improvements. By that I mean improvements. Changes aren't necessarily good, but these will be good. So now we've talked about all that. I gave you the magic incantation that will make your relationship happy, which is yes, dear. And I've told you about the half-price tarot readings. We're all shuffled up. Let's ring a bell 3 times to declare sacred space. Well, that didn't sound very good. Let's not count that one. There you go. That is so nice. And we'll now pull the curtain back on the magical window for Pamela in Plainview, Minnesota. Hi, you're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hi.
Hi, Pamela. How are you tonight?
Okay.
Well, maybe we can make that a little better. Why don't we give it a shot? What can I look at for you?
What this year holds for me, if I'm going to make some changes, make some great changes.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is this the year? Is this the year that things start moving? Right? One of the question like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
well,
everything I'm working on comes to light.
Okay. Well, this is good, because the first card is about a person who's feeling that there's no movement and no change and is kind of stuck. That's the 8 of Swords. So the cards are saying, okay, fine. You want to see if that's going to continue. The next is the Hanged Man. I almost never get that card. The Hanged Man is an interesting card. It's about a person who is sacrificing at this point. You're giving something up now for something you're going to gain later. Whatever it is that you're up to is going to be very rewarding, because I have the 10 of Coins here, which is for loads of money. And I have the 9 of Cups, which is enjoying that money and happiness and pleasure. And here's a card which is the 4 of Rods, which is a happy home. Yes, I mean, this is the Ace of Cups. That should sum it up, because that's about the beginning of emotional well-being and joy and happiness. That you have felt kind of restricted over the recent years, but you have been working at getting something better. And well, of course, we know that because that's what you asked about. But the card confirms that with the Hanged Man, and all these other cards show great abundance coming to you materially and emotionally. So I think this is going to be a very good year for you.
Okay. Should I trust the people I've been talking to in the last couple weeks?
Oh, is this like work or something?
No,
Or
not really. It's
oh, well,
uh,
let's see. I'll see what I get. Because if there are people you shouldn't trust, these that
yes,
shows up.
I know this.
No, I'm not seeing anything that says you're being misled, but I will tell you one thing. I've got something interesting here. One of the cards here, well, the cards indicate, first of all, what I see in the cards is, again, I have the Two of Swords, which is similar to that other card because it's about stalemate, things not moving. But I also have the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords means that the worst is over. The bad times are finished and better stuff is coming. Now, there's a card I want to talk to you about, which is the Devil. And that's not meant in like the
Mm,
evil, satanic kind of way. The Devil generally
right.
represents a very charismatic person, a dynamic person, an attractive person who gets a lot of things done, and you can get a lot done around a person like that. But there's a warning that that person can consume your life. You see, this is we all know people like that who
Right.
have maybe they use people a lot. You can do well around them, but you got to be aware of the nature of that. It's like I said, it's not about evil. It's about the only evil in that is the idea that you may be subsuming your own identity. But there's somebody who you're dealing with who is very charismatic and powerful and attractive, and can help you get what you want. The difficulty is dealing with people like that and not surrendering your own self. You see what I mean? And I think you'll be able to
Hmm.
do that because you're a very well. I was about to say you're a very independent thinker when I got the Ace of Swords and the Page of Swords, and these are good cards about that because the swords are about mental activity. The Ace of Swords means that there's new ways that you're seeing things, that you're thinking of the world. And the Page of Swords means that you're putting that stuff to practical use. So yeah, you'll be all right, but just it's a warning not to go overboard and give up who you are uh, in exchange for what you get. Okay, but you have great possibilities coming your way here, like the King of Coins. There you go. That's somebody who can help you with money and a person who understands and gets money and knows how to use it. So these are very good cards. Really good card. I just shuffled it and I got the devil card again. So yeah, there's definitely somebody there who is not dangerous, mind you. This is not a dangerous, evil person. Okay,
Right.
that's a mistake that the movies make when they want to scare people. Shorthand would be to take a tarot deck and use death and the devil. This is, let's say like it's somebody going to work for a movie star. I knew people who did that, and that can subsume your life. Now like recently there was that
Oh,
woman
yeah.
who was working for Robert De Niro, ended up in court, because they were very enmeshed. It's like that. He was paying her 300,000 a year. So yes, that is a lucrative position with a very charismatic and demanding person. But you have to watch out that you don't lose your sense of who you are. I think you can handle that though, because the sword cards show me that you have, and it's not a pun, but it does speak in puns. You have a sharp mentality. See?
I have a
So
question.
sure.
So am I like an empath, and like the stuff I'm sensing, is it real or is it just me, my imagination?
Well, let me put it this way. If you're asking me that question, it's probably real. The thing with being an empath is it's not
Well, I don't.
the problem is turning it off when you don't want it to happen, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that.
See, I don't
But
know if that's what it is, but it drains me.
oh yes, yeah. Oh, believe me, that's why people who are empaths need to take vacations once in a while, uh, or learn how to turn it off. I'm trying to think. I'm going through in my mind the various books that the closest I can think of. There's a book called How I Discovered My Mediumship, which you can find at mojoacademy.org. But you're not talking about being a medium,
I
unless
don't
you
even
are.
know what it is I do.
Well, see, you might want to read that because that's a woman who she was very famous in the early 20th century, and she had a very bizarre childhood because they all thought she was crazy because of hearing things and seeing things and feeling things that nobody else did. And as an adult, she just had to learn how to turn it off once in a while because you can't go around doing that all the time. Otherwise,
No.
it's like being in a really noisy room. And I know exactly what the well, good. I was hoping this card would show up, believe it or not. So it's either responding to me or to you, but I'm assuming it's responding to you. It's the Nine of Coins. The Nine of Coins. It's a beautiful card. It shows a person alone in the woods with a bird on her hand and at peace. Now that's not about being lonely. That's about somebody who learns how to like turn it off and be okay in solitude, and be away from people and is comfortable in her own skin. And
Right. I like it quiet
yeah,
sometimes.
as I recall that book, How I Discovered My Mediumship, that's a big chunk of that book is how that woman learned to control it. So you might want to take a look at that. There's also a book called Hunches, which is but that's a little more general. That is also at mojoacademy.org. Hunches is a book about it's from the 1930s or the 20s, I don't recall. So it's old, but it's really it reads like modern. The there are many different kinds of psychic ability, and this outlines them all and tells you what you can do to control them because you
I
don't
just feel
want.
like I'm crazy every time
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
You know.
there, are- there, there are two options there. One is that you are crazy, and the other is that you have some psychic ability. I'm betting on the latter because people who are crazy don't really think, "Am I crazy?" They think you're
That's
crazy.
true.
If I'm
That's
crazy,
true.
I'm going to think everyone else is crazy. But at least I hope. So that's the beautiful part about losing your mind is that you see things differently. But it's a travail. This is the whole thing about Kabbalah, the study of that, and I pronounce it that way purposefully because the more dilettante version is Kabbalah. But the Kabbalah, which is the more religious version, the whole goal there
Yep.
is to see the connections between everything until you go nuts. And then you'll see
Okay.
more than the other person does. So if keep in mind go to mojoacademy.org and look at the books there because there might be something there that'll help you out. Well, the two that I can think of offhand, one or the other, would be How I Discovered My Mediumship and Hunches, which are two wonderful books. And, give it a shot, okay?
Okay. Well, thank you.
But look, just talking to. Let me put it this way: I've spoken to a lot of crazy people. I spent years. I spent years in the entertainment business, so trust me, I know lunatics. I went to see them. You don't sound crazy to me, so there
Well, do
you
you
go.
see
Right?
like maybe some kind of book or like a documentary about coming up about everything I'm doing?
Well, do this. First of all, look up those two books at mojoacademy.org. They're also available through Amazon, but they're at mojoacademy.org. And then at my main website, and this goes for everybody listening in the same position, magic-works.com, magick-works.com. There's a section there on videos, and there will be videos there about ESP and things like that you can look at and see
Oh,
if any of that rings your
yeah.
bell. How's that? Okay?
Yep.
And you can always
Okay,
contact
sounds
me
good.
anytime. You can contact me through Ask One Radio or through my website. There's contact forms at mojoacademy.org. There's contact forms at magic-works.com. You know, all that. I'm easy to find. You can always send me an email, and I'll be happy to guide you through some books and things like that, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Good luck. Bye-bye. And we are listening to, oh boy, there goes my throat. You know why my throat is clogging up here? Because I'm not used to doing this. I've been such a lazy SOB that I missed so many shows. But I'm back, and we are together. And boy, am I glad to get that energy I get from the Ask One Radio audience. You people just you intoxicate me with good vibes, positive energy. So let's go do some more readings. Danielle in Naho, Arizona. Hi, Danielle. You're on with Reverend Eliot.
Hi,
Hi, how are you tonight, Danielle?
I'm good.
Well, maybe we can make that a little better, right? What can I look at for you?
Okay.
What would you like
Well,
to
I'd
look
just like to see what I have in store. I'm trying to get custody of my grandbabies, and I'm hoping that
at? Oh,
it's going to be sooner rather than later. So,
yeah. This is one of those things that, like, when there's everybody, you don't need me to tell you this. There's a lot of people who do this kind of stuff who fake it. And one of the things they're supposed to do is say, when you say a thing like what you just said, is say, yes, I know, as if we know, but we don't know, right? But when you were talking about that, I was going to ask you about children, because the first card I got is the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups shows two little children, and it's about a sense of nostalgia, and it's about thinking about children in your life or when you were a child. And the next card is the Four of Rods, which is about a happy home. So I was going to ask you if there's anything going in your life, involving the home and children.
yes,
But there, yeah, see,
definitely.
yeah, and you see, and because a lot of people who fake it will say, "Yes, I see." I'm always reluctant, because the cards show exactly what you just said. That it sounds unbelievable, but there it is. Um, there is authority involved here, and it looks like the Hierophant is here, and that's religious authority. So there's this got something to do with marriage and things of that nature. Its custody is very complex, and yet the
Hmm.
cards are showing the Four of Rods, which is happiness. But you want to know how it's going, so I'm gonna tell you what I see here, which may not be very helpful, but because some of this but this is just to show you that the cards are with you. The first is the Wheel of
Okay.
Fortune. I got the Wheel of Fortune, which is a major card, and it means that the situation as it is now is going to change. And that, generally, when people hear that, they're happy until they say, well, wait a minute, is it going to get better or worse? So I have other cards here already. I don't ever talk about that card until I have others ready. The next is the Chariot. Now, that is a person who is almost like being pulled in two different directions, with a very difficult situation, but is managing to control the situation. So you're working really hard. You know that
Yes.
that is here. The Queen of Swords is here. Now that's a very important thing. Sometimes the Queen of Swords is considered a cold woman, a harsh woman, uh, because it's not as women have this rap about being emotional more than men, but go see a
Hmm.
movie like Dr. Zhivago, and you'll see how many men are crying also, but but this is you have had to be very cold and very firm and very sharp in what you're doing, and that's what this shows me, and you're doing that. You're succeeding that way. The next card is the Nine of Cups, which is a card of enjoying the good things in life, and the inference there is of success. And here I have the Three of Cups, which means the completion of a matter in plenty, which doesn't necessarily mean, money, but it means getting what you want. What I'm seeing here is that the situation is fluid. You're working on it. It's changing. You're
Mhm.
you're not letting it tear you apart. You're controlling yourself very well, even though you may be perceived rightly or wrongly by some people as being firm and cold and harsh, but you're doing what you've got to do. You're a sensual person who enjoys things, and they don't see that side of you, but that side will come out, and I'm seeing success coming to you
Okay.
now.
That's
I
good to hear
I
because there's a lot of stuff that's been going on. Just so much
well
that my plate is
yeah,
very full.
I have to, that I can see. Believe me, I can see that here. Uh, uh, this I've got like the Five of Cups here. That is a person who's focused on something that happened, something that didn't work out well, and right now you're looking at three spilled cups where there's two full cups behind you, but you don't have time to look at that because you have to deal with the mess. You see, and that's where you are right now. But the inference in that card is that at some point the person's going to turn around and see the other card, the other cups rather, which is to see what else she has. So right now you're preoccupied. Now I don't want to get into a little projection here, but I went through this for the last few years myself. Because my wife and I were involved in a legal battle, not with each other.
Hmm.
It was us against somebody else, where she was
Hmm.
grievously injured, and we had to sue them. And I mean, we had to sue them. I mean, they tried to kill her. You see, I can't really talk about it too
Oh
much, but
wow. Uh-huh.
but uh,
Okay.
but but it worked out okay. But we spent quite a while focused on doing that and doing that and doing it. Well, yeah, and then it was over. And it's like a new phase of your whole life. And now here we go. This is what I like about tarot cards. Sometimes people think they're alive, and sometimes I think they are too, because they joke with you. I was saying, we came through it and we're alive. It's like it's a new life. I have the Judgment card here, which shows an angel blowing a horn and people rising from the grave for a new life. You see, so that's what's
Hmm.
in. It's almost like you're going to have a whole new life, that you're on path towards that. So barring anything unexpected, from what I see, you're doing everything right. From what I see, you're doing what you should.
Okay.
Here's the beautiful card, the Temperance card. That also has an angel. That's two cards in a row you got with angels on them, which tells me that you're being protected. The Temperance card is here. That means,
Actually, I do have two people that are watching over me. My mother just passed not too long ago, and my soulmate as well. But they both promised to watch over me and the girls.
wow, now isn't that fascinating that I've got two cards, one right next to the other, that one has an angel and the
Yep.
other has an angel. Take a look at them sometime.
Yes.
You can just Google on a deck of cards. If you go to my website, magic-works.com, and look up Magical Window, you'll see the cards that I'm using, but any tarot card will show you. These are major cards, the Temperance card and the Judgment card, and they both have angels on them. They both have sunshine on them. And the Temperance card is means that balance will be restored in your life. Right now, your life is out of whack. Your life is not balanced, and it
Yes.
can't be because you're focusing on doing something. So it's lopsided, your life. But it will get to it. See, I've seen people who were involved in many legal things, and even after they won, they couldn't let go. It's very difficult to get back to normal sometimes, but you will, because the angel
Okay.
here is the angel of temperance, and that's going to happen. The next card is the magician. The magician draws power, spiritual power from above, and uses it here. These are three very heavenly cards, and you got them. So I think you have protection. But
Yes,
right
I do
now,
feel like I do.
I don't see any speed bumps here. I don't see anything going wrong. I can't obviously predict the exact outcome of all this, but
Hmm.
I do see that you're not going to be upset or disappointed by the way it ends, that you'll be all right with the way it's all settled. So that's going to be good too. Okay.
That's excellent to hear. Yes.
So the main God, you see, there it is again. There's that the nine of coins. Is that the third time tonight I've gotten that? That's about a person who's comfortable in their own skin and can be comfortable solitarily, without you don't need people around you all the time. So you're focused and you're centered and you know what you're doing. And yeah, the Ten of Coins. That's a very good card. That's about family and ancestors and grandchildren and great grandchildren and great grandparents and all. So you're doing well in the family line. We'll put it that way. Okay,
Okay.
but it's looking
That's
good
good
to
to
me.
hear.
It's looking real good to me. So let me
I
just.
can breathe easier because it's just hard.
Well,
You can't.
yeah, I know.
You want, you want a positive outcome. You don't want to hurt anybody, but sometimes you have to, in order to do what's best for your
Yes.
baby. And
Well,
it's
sometimes
been a
it's not.
long, long trip. Let me tell you, we've been through a lot.
Sometimes it's not you hurting people, but it's how they take what happens. If they choose to be hurt by it, that kind of thing. Let me just leave you with this because I don't get this card very often either. I had like the Hanged Man for somebody earlier. This is the card of it's called the Fool, and in the Gypsy system of magic, that means the person who gets this card is the beloved of God and has divine protection. And if there had been any negative cards in that reading at all, this card would wipe it out. So yeah, you got people watching over you. So be conscious of them, okay? Because
Okay.
they're near you. They're near you.
Sometimes I think I can't feel them, but I know they're
They're
around.
they're there too. I have a thing that happens sometimes, and I know, and I'm pretty sure I know who it is. I get a thing like somebody just poked me in the cheek. It's just weird because and I know who that is. I'm really sure, and she passed away a few years ago. So it's just that's my first thought is that this person is why I don't know why. I mean, if I could get into the afterlife and eternity, I wouldn't want to waste it watching me. But I don't know. Maybe I'm part of some big cosmic plan, like Tevye said in Fiddler on the Roof. I don't know. But there's more to life than we see, and you, according to what I'm seeing here, have protection. So I'm going to light a white candle after the show to send some positive energy your way also. How's that?
That sounds wonderful. Thank you very much. You don't know how much
My,
I appreciate this.
my pleasure. Bye now. And let's shuffle them up again. Boy, the clock is ticking on us here as you listen to Reverend Eliot's Magical Window on Valentine's Day, 1984, right? I don't know why the year 1984 keeps coming to my mind. I hope that doesn't have anything to do with George Orwell. I hope it's because 1984 was a good year. Speaking of which, it's people talk about growing older and how strange it is to grow. It's difficult growing older, which I find kind of silly because I managed to do it without any effort at all. But there came one point when I was a little bit flummoxed when I realized that I am now well past the last verse of the song "It Was a Very Good Year." That's old. Janine in Brooklyn is next. Hi, Janine. You're on with Reverend Elliot.
Hi, it's Jeannie.
Oh, Jeannie. Okay, sorry. I have to get my glasses fixed up. So what can I do for you, Jeannie?
I guess a love life reading will be great.
Okay, let's see. I'll shuffle them up now that we know what you want to look at. And cut the deck once. And see, this is like the old radio shows. I was listening to an interview with Tony Randall, who was a radio actor and hated every minute of it. I was talking with a friend about that. The idea that on old radio shows, which I love, they would say, "Well, come on in and put your hat on that rack over there." As I pull this chair out and we sit down and let me move this off the table, because they had to describe everything they did. Nobody talks like that, and here I am talking like that. Wonderful. Now, let's see. Okay, I've got two sets of cards, two cards here that are cups, and cups are about romance. And so that's a pretty good sign here. The first is the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is about a person whose mind is filled with ideas and thoughts and, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not confusing, but it's just that it's a very active mind. A lot of people don't like that card. I do. I'd rather have too many ideas than none at all. So there you go.
Right.
And the other is
I
the Six
agree.
of Cups. Six of Cups is here too, which is about remembering things from childhood, from years ago. Maybe somebody you knew ages ago may be coming back into your life. Social media. That's pretty weird. I mean, I heard from somebody who we knew each other when we were both like 5 years old. You know, so that's pretty creepy to be, an old decrepit man
Yeah.
and run into somebody you last saw at 5. So, but
Right.
so but the main thing is about the Seven of Cups is there's plenty of options. That there's a lot of options for you, romantically speaking, or in terms of relationships. There's things that are going to be coming your way. You're just going to have to choose. So that's good. You're not going to be stuck in the desert, so to speak. There's a chance that it could be someone you knew long ago, maybe someone you were involved with once before, and or knew casually, and maybe it'll get a little deeper. But the next card is, again, the Four of Rods, a happy home. I've gotten that several times today. So, yeah, it's looking good. Here's a very good card. It's ugly, but it's good, which is a contradiction, I suppose. It's the Ten of Swords. If you've been having any hard times lately, this means those are about to end. If things have been rough for you, that means you're ending that period of bad times and heading off into good times. In fact, literally heading off, because here's the Eight of Cups. Cups again, affairs of the heart. Eight of Cups is leaving things that aren't working for you now and going towards things in life that are better for you. So are you making changes in your life?
I am. Yeah,
Well,
that's
this
amazing. Yeah.
well, that shows positive change, and it's a good time to do it. I mean, a lot of people want to make. I can see that for almost everyone I read that they want to make changes, but this shows the changes taking place, so that's good. The Two of Rods is about waiting for results. So I'm not seeing anything in the immediate future, but you're laying the groundwork for it, and it's on the way. You see, because I'm getting cards here that indicate that there's going to be massive changes in your life. I mean, really big changes in your life, but for the better. I mean, they culminate with the Six of Rods, which is triumph, not just success, but triumph. So I do think that you're headed in the right path. But the important thing is that the Seven of Cups shows me that there's a lot of possibilities coming your way. Okay?
Okay. That sounds great.
So now, if I could leave you with a message that is positive, which is it's going to feel like nothing is happening, but that's not so. Things are happening. Because remember, take a look sometime at that card, Six of Rods. It shows a person with a banner on a horse being followed by others, leading and successful. That's you at the end of all this. That you're gonna get what you want, and you're gonna do really well with it. Okay, so keep that in mind
That's
when
amazing. Thank you.
because all the changes that you're bringing to yourself in your life are improvements. Change for the sake of change. Maybe some people like it. I don't. I'm very conservative in my life. If I had my way, I'd probably still be living in the house I grew up in. But you're definitely going to be changing for the better, and things are going to be moving along very well for you. So get ready for a very exciting year. Okay.
Thank you. That sounds great. And I actually needed that news.
Good. I'm glad you feel better about it. Bye bye now.
Bye.
And we're shuffling up again. You're listening to Reverend Eliot's Magical Window, the show that asks the magical question, and I've really wondered about this. Can, can I do readings for people who are thousands of miles away? I had no idea if I could or not. Apparently, I can. I mean, I've been doing it now for almost I'm in my 13th year here. Can't wait to be in the 14th year because I'm not crazy about that number, 13. That's a cultural thing, isn't it? Let's just say that I'm in the 15th month of my 12th year. How's that? Like I said, I'm looking forward to big changes for the better in the magical window. I want to make it a little more interesting. I want to do some things here. Let's see. The weather is going to be thawing out soon, which means, boy, if I had a drum roll, I would do it. There'll be a new copy of my newsletter coming out. We had the fall winter newsletter, which is still available. We can find that at the newsletter page at magick-works.com, magick-works.com. And I will be doing what would that be then, I guess? A summer, a spring summer? Yeah, I'll do a spring summer issue. Any day now. Any day now. So let's go to take one last call. Donna in Red Deer, Alberta. Hi, you're on with Reverend Eliot, Donna.
Hello.
Hi, Donna. How are you doing tonight?
Not too bad.
Well,
I was
like I
just
say,
wondering if you could help me with some guidance.
Sure.
Just wondering what my near future holds with my home and job.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Are you looking to make changes?
Yeah.
Okay, because there's changes coming. There are big changes coming in your life. And they're good. Okay. I'm seeing I have a card that shows completely new change. This is a card that scares people. It shouldn't. It's the death card. It doesn't mean you're going to die. It means one phase of your life is ending and another is beginning. The cards don't predict death of people because that's in everybody's future. Much as we don't particularly want to think about that, yeah, that's somewhere down the road. It's going to hit us all, except me. I'm sticking around. The, the death card really means the end of one part of your life and the start of another because there's a sunrise on that card. So one part of your life is you're looking for a new life in a sense. The Ace of Coins tells me that this new life is going to involve more money. The world tells me that you're going to be very successful. And here again, for like the fourth time tonight, is the Four of Rods, which is a card about a happy home and joy. And the Nine of Cups is about a person who knows how to enjoy the sensual pleasures in life and does very well. And the only warning there is that you live so well, people might be envious of you. That's serious. That's the only downside there, that you're going to be living that well. So whatever's going on in your life now, I see that is coming to a close, and a new era of prosperity and enjoyment is going to begin.
Okay.
And now, is there anything
do you see what kind of job opportunity I have coming?
well, the card here is the Queen of Rods, and rods are about work. So this is, yeah, I can see a new job there. Let's see what else we have here. Well, the Temperance card, I had that before for somebody else. It's a great card. It means your balance is going to be restored if your life is feeling out of balance. And the Ace of Rods. Ace of Rod means new jobs, new career work, new life in terms of work. So yeah, look, I'm gibberish. It's like gibberish now to me, but that's how it's coming out. The Ace of Rods, the Queen of Rods. He's telling me that is going to be a new job. The Ace of Coins and the Nine of Cups. These tell me you're going to be doing very well financially and emotionally in this job. The Eight of Rods is here. Again, rods are about work and career, but the Eight of Rods means that something is on its way. That means that this thing is happening now. It's coming to you very soon. The Five of Rods says there'll be some stiff competition involved in this new position, but you will be fine because it's not like out and out warfare. It's just like it's just good, hearty, stiff competition. But you'll be able to handle it because of the success that you have in these cards. Remember, I said you had the World, which is a card of assured success. So yes, there's
Right.
work coming your way too. You're in a really big period of change that's coming up, and it's going to be very good for you. It's what you've been wanting, isn't it?
Yeah,
Well, you're
definitely.
making it happen, and when it comes, it's going to be coming because of your efforts. And I just say congratulations, because this is I'm going to shuffle them up and take a couple of more cards and see what it is, because this is a very good reading, very hopeful. Yeah, see, there you go, Judgment card. It's like a rebirth. Just beautiful. That's it. It's the Empress. That's a woman who can make things happen and grow, make things move. I think you're going to have a great dynamic year, and it's in the works now. That's the Eight of Rods. Okay,
Okay.
so I
Is
got to
there
run.
any messages?
No, I've got to run.
Any messages?
I only have about a minute left, so I really don't have time to look at other messages. But if you want to call back at some point, I'll be able to take a look at that. Okay, because we're up against the end of the show.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Sorry I couldn't do more. Bye-bye now. And that's it. We've come to the end of another edition of Reverend Eliot's Magical Window, the show that asks, is he going to disappear for 6 months again? Oh, man, I should have made up some kind of story, right? Like I went into the Foreign Legion or something like that. That would have been good. That could have been cool. Say, I went off into the Foreign Legion and was doing readings for people in the desert while I don't know. Is there still a French Foreign Legion in the desert? I don't know. All I know about it is from like Beau Geste and Laurel and Hardy. That's about all I know about the Foreign Legion. So we'll be back together next week at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, 9 Mountain, and 8 Pacific as we look through the magical window of the tarot. Remember that you can find those books I mentioned earlier today, Hunches and How I Discovered My Mediumship. You can find that and loads more at mojoacademy.org. Mojoacademy.org has books and video and all kinds of great stuff there. And my website is magic-works.com. Take a look at the love spells there. You'll see what I feel about love spells and what you can do with them and what you maybe shouldn't do with them. That's love spells at magic-works.com. And I'll see you again next week. Remember, until next week, who you are is the universe's gift to you. Who you become is your gift back to the universe. Bye-bye now. See you next week.